Over the last 3 years, I transformed my business, Body in Style, from a chaotic mess into a successful 6-figure company where I can genuinely say I enjoy every single work day and find so much fulfillment in my job. I've sold a range of services and products in an industry that I'm really passionate about, personal style and image consulting, and I want to help you do the same for your business. My name is Ellie-Jean. I help business owners streamline their services, making their work more easy, enjoyable, and profitable. And in this video, I'm going to break down my 10-step system that I developed using the advice of dozens of business books and my own experience to creating a business you love that actually makes you more money. Step 1 is to highlight your super strengths. This book, The Squiggly Career by Helen Tupper and Sarah Ellis, is absolutely incredible for helping you to find your super strengths, which is essentially the things you're super skilled at, the things that you are uniquely amazing at, and also the things you love and want to be known for. These are incredibly important to know for the rest of the steps of the business, because essentially everything you do in your business should be pointing towards these super strengths and helping you develop them, grow them, and use them. Step 2 is to educate via short form content on social media. I see so many businesses make mistakes on social media, such as a mistake I might see Jenny make would be taking a short video of a bunch of paintings that she's done recently with text on screen saying, "Buy these now." This is a really unengaging piece of content, and she's thinking of it as an advert rather than something interesting for her audience to watch. A better way to use your social media is to not think of every piece of content as an advert, but as you're building a community of people who might be interested in your artwork. And the way you do that is you educate. You essentially show your work, you share the behind the scenes of your process, share the things you're learning, the techniques you uniquely use, and you share via the internet. Now, my preference is short form media because I'm particularly good at it. But you could also start with more long form content like I'm doing for this channel and this business. But I still consider YouTube videos, which are only 10 minutes long, not that long form really in the grand scheme of things. Step 3 is to create a seamless, effective funnel. So when you've got your short form content, you've got this community, you're highlighting your products and your experience making these products, that's completely useless to your audience unless they can actually buy from you. So let's take Jenny. A really bad example of this is she's got her terrible piece of short form content saying buy this now, and for anyone who some reason decided they were going to do that based on that reel, and she leaves a link in the description saying www.jennyisanartist.com. That link isn't clickable. So social media platforms actually make it quite hard for you to showcase your products and your services because they want people to stay on their app and they don't want their audience to leave. So it can be quite difficult for business owners to get links out to their services and products. So in that case, the person in Jenny's audience who's watched that, thought one of her paintings was great and wanted to buy it, now has to put that link into Safari or Google, actually remember what the URL was, type it in, then search through all her products to find the one that she wants. And that viewer just isn't going to do that. They're going to scroll on and Jenny's lost a sale. Whereas if Jenny, on her really cool piece of educational content where she showed the behind the scenes of making a piece of art in a really engaging way, or shared some of her favorite techniques on making a piece of art, used something like ManyChat where all the viewer has to do is comment a specific word and they'll get a link to their DMs which they can actually click to that specific thing that they wanted. Linktree is also a really good funnel. Essentially, you just want it as easy as possible for the customer to go and buy the thing that you're selling. Reduce the friction because it makes it easier for them. Step 4 is to create a high value, repeatable, minimally customized service. One of the reasons Jenny is feeling so overwhelmed is she's an artist, but she's doing digital prints, physical prints. She's doing canvases. She's also making earrings. She's spread so thin and every single piece is customized. And so she's rewriting the script for every single person who wants something from her. A better way for Jenny to do this would be focused on one thing, such as watercolor canvases. This way she gets really good at one particular skill, she gets known for it, and ideally you would focus on the thing that you can sell the most often, is most popular, and that people love. Focus on that and then she can repeat it and get really, really good at that skill. And sometimes if she wants to, she can focus on those other elements as a passion project, but ultimately she's focused on making her best work. Let's just shift this slightly to, let's say you were a consultant. Another thing that's important is that you productize your service. So instead of just having one-off service that isn't repeatable, it's best if you can somehow create a product of 3 calls that someone could have with you, each one tackling something different in a way that's really systemized. They know what they're going to get, you know what you're going to say, and it takes the panic out of the whole thing. And in terms of minimally customized, for example, at Body and Style, I did image consulting, so someone would send me their photos and I would say, you have this body type, this face type, these style routes, etc. And when I first started, I found myself repeating myself again and again. Over time, I developed systems so that I had that information ready to go and input into somebody's package, so that the time I was spending on them was actually the custom elements. I was really focusing my time and energy onto that specific customer rather than trying to rewrite information again and again that I say every single time. 5 is create a hands-off booking system. One of Jenny's problems is she spends all day answering emails saying, no, I haven't got enough time, or yes, I can fit you in here. She's got a 3-month waiting list and she's had to input every single one of those people. She's constantly answering the phone. She feels just completely overwhelmed. So what Jenny needs to do is organize a hands-off booking system for her art, so she can put in the times when she's ready, the deadlines. I find that it's best to have due dates available so people know when they're eventually going to get it. Then Jenny also has a goal, but make them realistic for how long it's going to take for that specific service. This makes the booking totally out of Jenny's hands, because that's not what Jenny's best at. Jenny's skills is doing the art. That is her super strength, and that's what she wants to be spending all of her time on, and brainstorming different ideas and being creative and looking at different art pieces and brainstorming. So that's what Jenny should be doing. She shouldn't be doing the customer service and trying to book people in. Good customer service, we often imagine, is talking to someone one-on-one, and for things like problems that someone's having, sure, but in terms of booking, all they need is to know, when am I going to get this thing? How do I pay for it? And let's go ahead. In which case, you don't need to be involved with that. Something like Calendly can take all of that off of your hands. And for me, that was one of the biggest things which actually increased my profit, which I really didn't expect, but it made it so easy for people to book that suddenly all those people that were on the fence were suddenly like, yeah, let's do it. I know what I'm going to get. I know when I'm going to get it. Let's go. 6 is create a customizable digital product. So if you have a service-based business, it's common sense to have a digital product to go along with that, because services are not passive income. Every single hour of your time is set at a price, which is kind of like having a job. So you want to supplement this with some kind of passive income. Obviously, it takes upfront work to create a good digital product, but this can just supplement your work a little bit. And in some cases, it will take over your services, depending on how good a digital product you think you can make. I like my digital products to be customizable wherever possible, rather than just being like mini ebooks. I like customers to be able to fill things out, so workbooks or journal prompts, something that they can actively engage with, because that makes them more fun, and it's like a DIY of your service. I find to be the most effective digital products. This also means for the people who didn't have the budget for your services but are still in your community, can still learn from you and still get a mini version of what you offer. 7 is create a website which highlights 2 things: your super strengths and your offer. I had an email the other day from someone who wanted to work with me. She had the most incredible pitch. She knew everything about me. She knew my goals. She knew what I needed out of work. She'd really listened to some of my videos, and I was really impressed until I realized I have no idea what she actually does. I looked on her website, and again, I could see that she had loads and loads of experience with different kinds of people, different clients, but I had no idea what she actually did for them, and I had no idea what she wanted to do for me. It's really important to highlight your super strengths. What are you uniquely good at that other people aren't good at, that's gonna make you stand out from the crowd? And also your offer. There's no point in having your offer without your super strengths. Jenny, just because you're selling art, there are hundreds of thousands of people selling art. We want to know why your art is something that needs to be considered, your experience, and what you're really, really good at. Why should I buy art from you? Maybe you've got a really quick turnaround. Maybe you really are really obsessive, so you turn things around in a couple of days. Perhaps you spend months over something and create something really unique and really personal, and you are really client focused. These are things which help you to stand out. But yes, also you need to have your offer. So exactly what is it that I'm going to be getting from you? And these are really the only 2 things that you need to highlight on your website, and everything you have on your website should make that pretty clear. 8 is to create a digital hub. I think it's really important for business owners to take everything out of the physical world, out of pen and paper, which is really hard to share with other people. It gets easily lost, it gets very disorganized and confused, and to have it in one digital place where you can find everything really easily. It's just very accessible for you going forward. And also, if you wanted to sell your business, having a digital hub also makes that much easier. I use Notion, but there are loads of tools like Asana, for instance, and Trello, I want to say, which take this element out of your hands and make it easy for you to implement. Number 9 is really important. It's hire a VA, a virtual assistant, and outsource anything which is not your super strengths. So anytime we're spending in our business, we want to be improving our super strengths, using our super strengths. Anything which is not doing those things is wasting our time. So my super strengths are deep diving, because I'm really obsessive, creating systems, and analysis. So I tend to focus on things I enjoy, which are going to bring out these elements. So for example, in my videos, I'm often doing analysis of celebrities or outfits in my body and style content. So that checks off the analysis. I like creating systems, so I'm often working on a Notion database. I'm often trying to think, how can we make this more efficient? How can we make this more innovative? How can we cut out a bottleneck and open opportunities here, there, and everywhere? And then deep diving, I'm a learner. I will always have time in my day for doing extra learning, whether it's directly related to the business or not, because I like to follow my obsessions, because I often I'm like that dog in Up, it's like squirrel. I'm like that about a new thing every single week, and I like to follow that because I think it broadens my mind. So I tend to focus on those 3 things. And anything that's not those 3 things, I want someone else to deal with. So I have someone to do my accounts, someone to do my video editing. But here's the thing, you want your assistants to be virtual in this day and age. I think so often business owners feel they have to do everything by themselves because they can't imagine that anyone in their town or city is going to be able to help them. It's going to cost way too much money to hire someone full-time for the level of skill that they're looking for. And that's where virtual assistants come in, because you don't need to hire someone full-time. You can hire freelancers from across the world to help with a specific project that you're doing. For example, recently I started moving in body and style away from services towards digital products as the main focus of the business. And so I needed to get a lot of digital products created very quickly. And so I outsourced help from virtual assistants to do that. So if you want help on occasion, you can do that. And there are virtual assistants for pretty much any skill out there. Honestly, the sky is the limit. I have virtual assistants as well from across the world. You have literally a whole world of talent to pick from. I have assistants in Pakistan, Ukraine, and the UK, where I'm from. So you have the whole world to choose from. I also think it's important to outsource. When you own your own business, the lines between what is your business and your personal life is also extremely blurred. So anything you can outsource in your personal life, I also suggest you do. I have someone to do my washing and my cleaning, and it's so much more affordable than you think. A cleaner, I have 2 hours a week, and it costs about £25, something like that. It's so affordable. It's so much more affordable than you think. You're just one of their clients. You don't have to have someone in every single day, but it takes a little bit off of your load, and it means you can focus again on your super strengths. Number 10 is to keep your customers for life. I have something called the airport theory. So think, you've bought your flight months ago and you eventually arrive at the airport. The airport doesn't just put you onto your flight. They provide you with shops, places to eat. You can look at cute clothes that you might use on the holiday. When you're on the plane, they're seeing if there's anything you might possibly want, snacks that they can charge you for. And let's look at our artist, her version of the airport theory. Weeks ago, someone commissioned a painting from her. She's finally got a watercolor canvas to them. What might they want next? They might want a frame, so she could have a range of frames available. They might want a quick print that they can print rather than a customizable piece because they loved her work so much and they want to just gift something easy to a friend. They might want a postcard that they can add to their scrapbook because they love her style so much. See, there are loads of things that they can add to that original purchase, which they might also be looking for, and they might look elsewhere, but they could also just look to you. Really, thinking of good products and running a business well is about providing things that people need, that your audience wants and needs, and being the source of that in whatever way you possibly can, and helping them do that. Helping them with their goals and their dreams and making their life better in whatever ways you can possibly think of. Another part of keeping them for life is to send follow-up emails. A newsletter is incredibly important for running a business, and it takes the pressure off your content a little bit because repeat customers are extremely important. If you got value out of this video, you might benefit from a consultation with me. Those are now available, so check the link in the description to find out more. We can do strategy sessions, and I also have a done for you service where I put some of this into place for your business without you lifting a finger. And if you like this video, you should also go ahead and subscribe because this is going to be the first of many. Let's get started.